percaya, dia pada orang percaya, dia Singapura, dia kanci Singapura, dia kanci okey. Boleh percaya, dia kanci percaya okey. Boleh percaya, dia tanya dia kanci masa cari, apa kulit, orang nak, kulit doktor, dan kau kita ni, masa cari masa titik doktor titik, boleh percaya, dia kanci percaya. Cari masa dia kanci percaya. Boleh percaya, bukan kanci Singapura, dia pada orang percaya.
A few months ago, many Singaporean netizens commented that Singapore is becoming Indianized, as the government has provided visa conveniences for Indians, flooding the labor market and raising concerns about the nation's future. I initially thought that Singapore, being a predominantly Chinese country, would have a natural immunity to Indians within its Chinese community. Similarly, many Indians have come to China, but they dare not blatantly violate the standards of human civilization as they do in other countries. Unexpectedly, Singapore's reality is completely different from what I imagined. After Singapore and China introduced mutual visa exemptions, many Chinese visited Singapore, recorded videos, and shared them online, sparking widespread discussion. Firstly, although Singapore's Indian population is small, they are highly united. They boldly defend their rights in public, asserting their ownership, to the extent that when facing Chinese tourists, they dare to shout, "Go back to China. This is Singapore, our homeland." When Indians openly urinate on Singapore's MRT, none of the many Chinese bystanders dared to intervene. When Indians make noise on the streets late at night, Singaporean Chinese only complain on their phones. Honestly, it's shocking. I want to say to Singapore's Chinese, if you don't stop Indians from challenging the standards of human civilization, your country will become the next India. Unlike Canada, where Vancouver, Toronto, Ottawa, and Calgary may fall, but there are still Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Halifax. Singapore is just one city. If it becomes a stage for Indians' barbaric behavior, where will you move to? Malaysia or back to China? When you encounter a group of monkeys in a zoo, don't try to win them over with peanuts and bananas. Trust me, they won't appreciate it. They'll think they own the zoo, surround you, and snatch your bag. The only reasonable approach is to beat the monkeys that dare to provoke you with a stick until they wail, creating a strong psychological deterrent for the others, making them see you as the master. Then, when you offer bananas and peanuts, they'll be grateful. This is the policy of former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt. Soft words in mouth, big stick in hand. I researched Singapore's situation. Indians are a minority, but there are 700,000 or 800,000 of them, many arriving due to the government's visa policies. I find this baffling. If Singapore lacks labor, don't Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, fellow ASEAN countries, have workers? Are their qualities worse than Indians? If Singapore wants to balance major power diplomacy, it only needs to manage relations with China and the United States and coordinate within ASEAN. What diplomatic leverage can India provide? In the words of U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, India is not important. Singapore's founding father, Lee Kuan Yew, also repeatedly stated that India cannot become the next China and will not be a superpower. Who built Singapore into a developed nation? Lee Kuan Yew. Has the ruling People's Action Party lost its mind? Does Lawrence Wong think Singapore's affairs are too many to handle the Indianization issue? In China's online communities, I often criticize those prejudiced against Africans and Indians coming to China, as I believe migration is a basic human right. China defines identity by culture, not bloodline. Whether Africans or Indians, as long as they follow Chinese cultural traditions, social order, and lifestyle, there's nothing wrong. If the government grants them legal visa opportunities and they succeed through effort, they can settle in China. I even publicly oppose white Canadians and Australians telling Indians to go back to their country, as it violates basic human rights. But let me be clear, I firmly oppose Indians acting like a virus, bringing their deplorable habits and committing acts worldwide that break the standards of human civilization. Even in a Chinese-majority country like Singapore, Indians have no right to tell Chinese to go back to China. Such blatant racism is a cancer to human civilization everywhere. What gives Indians the right to be racist? Is there any group on Earth more in need of improvement than Indians? Name one. Just one. I still cannot understand how, a quarter into the 21st century, a nation's people are widely reported to defecate and urinate in public, behavior worse than a pet dog. How does this happen in human society? I'm deeply disappointed in Singapore's government and the citizens in that MRT carriage. I can say, if an Indian dared to urinate on China's subway, they'd be beaten to hospitalization before the police arrived. This is your country, your homeland, and someone desecrates it, yet you stand by? I recall a Singaporean blogger recently saying, "We Singaporean Chinese are not Chinese. We're completely different." Indeed, we are different. To mainland Chinese, anyone who insults our nation and way of life in public would be taught a lesson with fists, not whined about on phones. Are you still real men? Honestly, I have friendly advice for Lawrence Wong. Stop performing. Singapore doesn't need you flying economy class to show integrity. It's not short of money. Your most important job is to preserve the civilized foundation built by Lee Kuan Yew. Mainland Chinese have no ambitions towards Singapore, so you don't need to use a clumsy English accent to assert your identity's independence to please Indians. You and the People's Action Party should start addressing the Indian issue now, making them follow Singapore's order. Study the time when Goh Chok Tong's government, despite pressure from the U.S. president, caned an American citizen who broke Singapore's laws, or consult him on how to manage Indians in Singapore. I recall Kishore Mahbubani joking that Singapore is the cleanest Indian city. Yes, if you don't take this seriously, Singapore's cleanliness, along with the People's Action Party, may become history